What's poppin', y'all? It looks like we're nearing the end of the Timberland saga with this AI software because he's finally put out a statement, and I just felt like this was a neat thing to tie the gift around, to wrap the bow around, whatever you want to call it, and seal this saga of Timberland. And he put out a statement. So if you're unfamiliar, there was a lot of controversy with AI. Timberland has been a big supporter of AI software and aiding music making. He's also partnered with a company called Suno. And in that partnership, he's also live streamed a ton. And there became some controversy when people felt that he was also announcing that he was going to sign an AI artist, which is creating his own AI artist to this new record label. And that's what got more attention on what he was doing than previously. So in that, a beat that Timberland was using had a beat tag from another producer. This created a big stir. People felt that their music was being used, that they submitted to Timberland to train this AI. So this starts a back and forth. I'll play a short clip of what Timberland was talking about. I mentioned it in a previous video, and then we're going to get into the statement that he eventually made.
See, Red, what's popping? So let me introduce you to Baby Timbo, Suno, better known as Baby Timbo, right? So remember this right here.
I don't write verses for fun. We've been out working for crumbs. To the seeds we plant and pay my fees on the first of the month.
I feel like the rap was so powerful, right? So I came up with this. I put it in Baby Suno and I kind of prompted it a certain way. You don't really see all that. It's for me, for my eyes on it. But check it out.
I don't write verses for fun. We've been out working for crumbs. To the seeds we plant, aim and pay my fees on my first of the month. Those who try to make believe that I don't deserve it is dumb. Just give me a beat that got some space to put words to the drums. Just give me the peace to find my place of encouragement, son. I know everybody got some pain that no Percocets numb. Ask me for some tips, I know my work, just prefer to step one. Gotta love yourself, that lets the birds are tough for deception. Hard for me to rest when success, I prefer to get done.
Chat is bringing up somebody in the beat. Somebody's bringing up something in the chat about a beat. Somebody named K Fresh Beats,
which is dope. He's super dope.
Let's pull it up because we was doing our, this is our first time hearing about it. This whole thing is about transparency, and like, we looked up the post, and I had to show it to Tim chat just to let him know like what it was. But you had mixed his like sample with like another artist vocalist. Like it was two posts that you saw on Instagram and you merged them into one?
Yeah, it was like doing a remake. The same way
it was an edit.
It was an edit. The same way we took Krishan Rock.
Yeah, the same thing with
Krishan Rock, showing the power of a tool and how powerful it is, how it can flip songs and do remixes. Now hold on, check this out. That same post, if he's listening, guess who called for that beat? Ghostface Killer, because of that post. And so I'm trying to call him today and say, yo man, you need to send that beat to Ghostface. What? I don't get nothing for that. But that post said, yo, God, can you send me that beat? That ain't my beat.
So he tried to dance around this for a while, but he put out a statement on his Instagram that said the following. Recently, I shared a post where I used a song that I believed was fully owned by the artist who sent it to me. Out of pure excitement to explore, transform, and collaborate, I ran it through Suno to show how this tech can open creative possibilities and collaborate. I didn't monetize it, release it, or try to claim ownership. I was genuinely inspired and wanted to demonstrate what's possible. But I now understand that the song's beat was produced by a producer named K Fresh, who didn't give consent, and that's on me. I'd like to formally apologize to K Fresh. I should have done my due diligence before using it. Regardless of the intent, I recognize that not everyone involved was aware or on board, and I take full responsibility for that oversight. If you know me, you know I've spent years collaborating with artists across all levels. My goal has always been to empower creatives, not to take from them. The narrative that I'm out here stealing music couldn't be further from the truth, but I understand how this moment caused concern. The post has already been taken down, and I'm committed to continuing to learn, listen, and lead with respect for the craft and the community. At Stage Zero, the AI media company I'm building, which is where he's going to sign this AI artist, nothing happens without people. Our focus is on building tools with creators, not at their expense. And then there's also a statement from Tanya Coates, his lawyer, who says, to clarify, while Timbaland's remix did violate Suno's terms of service, it did not violate the law. This is an important distinction. A lot of us click accept on platforms every day without fully reading the fine print, and this situation simply falls into that bucket. However, just because something's legal doesn't mean it's right. The audio is no longer on Suno's platform. But here's what a lot of people don't realize. Under the current law, even if a company removes the content, they're not required to delete anything the AI may have learned from it. That part of the law hasn't caught up yet, and no court has said otherwise. These are the kinds of gaps we're trying to help fix. Timbaland and our team are working diligently behind the scenes to make sure creatives are actually part of the conversation when it comes to developing laws around AI and music. We are working as creative advocates, not oppressors. Legal counsel to Timbaland. Saying that you're not an oppressor, it's not a really good look, because the first thing that people are going to think is you are an oppressor. And people had comments and replies to this, and they didn't like the second part. Somebody said, next time, how about you run your own unreleased songs through Suno when you're excited? And this response lacks true accountability because it shifts focus to legal loopholes and generalizations about tech terms rather than centering the harm done. It also feels defensive by emphasizing intent and reputation instead of impact and responsibility. I don't think these people get it. She is there as a lawyer to prevent Timbaland from saying something that could get him sued. That's why it says the statement is from her. He gave his own statement, and then she gave her own statement. And to try to attribute her response as a lawyer doing what she is supposed to do, her job, as Timbaland not taking accountability is completely unfair. I can't take that. But there was another opinion that was dropped, which I think is worth talking about. Timbaland partnered with a platform whose CEO said nobody enjoys making music and admitted to analyzing released music without consent, and that was proven over a year ago as well. Did Timbo know all this? If not, another sign of poor due diligence. If he did, that's worse. Meanwhile, artists feel scammed. Again, Beat Club deja vu. AI gets the spotlight while real musicians get sidelined. No talk of the Living Wage for Musicians Act. And is this a diversion from that? You know that this person's a producer. Why not go to an AI lawyer for this? And I know the lawyer on both sides are great. Tata doesn't talk back, but human creatives do. Timbaland might not have time to currently focus on working with you, but there are producers out there who do. Find us. Work with us. Let's go. Dog, this statement, number one, the CEO did not say that. The founder, I don't know if the founder and the CEO are different. He said, and I'll play the exact clip that he said.
It's not really enjoyable to make music now.
Why did you say that?
It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of practice. You need to get really good at an instrument or really good at a piece of production software. I think the majority of people don't enjoy the majority of the time they spend making music.
Do you not think that's like running? It is hard to run. It is painful to run. You don't particularly enjoy it, but you love running. And you get good at it, and you get better at it, and you speak to the runners, and they love running.
Most people drop out of that pursuit because it was hard. I think that the people that you know that run, this is a highly biased selection of the population that fell in love with it.
Well, by golly, I must be tripping. He did say that. I looked for this clip. I was like, oh, whoa, damn, he did say that. I'm not going to justify what the CEO said, but I will give some added context to what he's talking about. The type of person that is going to spend years making or getting good at an instrument or getting good at production or getting good at music making, do you ever think that that person is also the type of individual that's going to create a software that makes it so much easier to do that process? Absolutely not. That's like somebody that, let's say, a professional marathoner or somebody somebody that's a bodybuilder creating Ozempic. They're not going to have the inclination to do something like that because deep down within us, if you spent a lot of time to learn something and then someone else just gets it really quick, or there's a method for someone else to get it really quick, there's a little bit of bitterness. Maybe not totally bitterness, but it's like, damn, that sucks. Well, like, good for them, but you don't have the motivation to be that type of person. So the type of person that this guy is, who says, this music making thing is not fun. This is so hard. How can I shorten this? How can I make this faster? And then he's going to look into a software solution for that. So really, the person saying that is the perfect person to run a company like this. Now, when he gets into the running example and the working out example, I do have a rebuttal for the other guy that gave those. And I do think the CEO is right, is that there is such a small subsection of the population that enjoys those things. Most people do those things to lose weight. And when Ozempic came around, you could tell that a lot of people just hopped on Ozempic because they're like, hey, I actually want the outcome, not the process, which is true for most things. And for running and lifting, or bodybuilding in particular, a lot of people don't actually like doing these activities. A lot of people just like progress. So they'll run, but if they're going to compete, especially if they're competitors, if they're competing, they're like, I don't really like training, but getting faster, competing, beating other people, that feels amazing. And then there are social aspects to certain activities. Like, for example, some people like to hang out at the gym. They're gym goers and they'll do long workouts and they're not pressed to get in and out of there. And there are other people that are like, I need to get this workout in and get out. This isn't the highlight of my day. I just need to do this because I want to get to the outcome that I'm going to, or it's a part of my routine, whatever the case may be. So that's just to address that Suno CEO statement and this comment by this individual. However, for Timberland, I think this was the appropriate response. He's not necessarily saying like, I'm done with this AI thing. This ain't cool no more. But he is letting everybody know like, this was a mess up on my behalf. And this is also the thing when this guy was saying, Suno trained his AI on all of this music. Well, when you're talking about the moral aspect of that, like I said, the legal area is still a gray area as of now. Well, how many producers learned by sampling without commercializing it? Now, Suno is a commercial platform, so they're making money off of it. But when they were first training it and working on the software, they probably weren't making any money. And they used work that's already out there. Whereas, same thing with samples. Like producers, before they put out the music or sold the beats, they were working with samples. And that's not illegal, but they're using other people's work to get better. So that's the way I look at it there. It's not a one-to-one comparison, I will admit that. But I do think like trying to make it seem like, no, this is just completely evil, I think it takes away, because the guy's creating a solution for more people to be able to do something. That's it. And if you're good, you're going to be at the top still. You don't got to worry about it, because putting together something that sounds good is hard no matter what tools you have. And something that resonates with people, that's not easy. But a lot of producers, I understand their saltiness, but I don't agree with the outcomes that they are suggesting, because it's just going to benefit themselves and not everybody else. But also, one thing that I think we should talk about is what Timberland has been doing. And I didn't see this, and I don't feel like many people are covering this, but he's been bringing artists out to like pull up and work with them. Now, I can't play any of these clips. He has them on his IG Reels. I'll probably just put the video over me speaking. But he's had this one girl come out. He's had this producer come out whose name is escaping me. What was the producer's name? Chris Collins. I want to make sure that he gets his just dues. And he's got this thing called Timbo Idol, or Anna Margot is another one. He's got this thing called Timbo Idol where he works with these artists. They submit their stuff and then they actually get to meet him, do some work on there. And this is something that's really cool. Not many producers are doing this. And this is why, we are incentivized to talk about negative topics, things that are controversial. That's what gets the most attention. And talking about something like this, I didn't even hear about it. That's the thing. I didn't hear about this Timbo Idol thing. It's a dope idea. I think it's cool. Only musicians really use it or know about it, I would say. And maybe some fans of Timbaland here and there. But I think if we're going to address Timbaland and this controversy that he's been having, it's not our responsibility to mention this as well. But I think it shows good faith where you're like, hey, I can disagree with what this guy did, but this is also something cool that he's doing. I'm not saying more producers should do this, but a lot of producers are not doing this, that are in his position or doing better than him. And I'm not saying that they have to, because some are probably like, I'm just trying to focus on my own stuff. I'm not trying to work with all these new artists, but he is doing that. And yeah, there is a benefit for him. He's growing his brand in the music community, which as the music community grows and new people come into it, when these AI softwares mature, whose product are they going to use first? Probably the one that Timberland is partnered with and promoting. So I think it works out positively for everybody in this scenario for the Timbo Idol thing. But I haven't seen anything negative come out of that yet. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Do you think Timberland handled this responsibly? Do you think he got overhated? What's the deal? I think there was a little bit of piling on, but I respect the fact that he was willing to acknowledge his mistake and hold on to his view, which is, hey, this AI thing, I actually mess with it. I think it's a good creative outlet and I'm going to continue to pursue it, but I'm going to do it without stepping on anybody's toes legally or using the work that they didn't give me permission for. And I think that's fair. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed, and I'm going to see y'all in the next one.